Pleasant good evening from the nation's capital and welcome to Freedom News Basket. 45 minutes of major happenings about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one globe. And I'm Stephen Compton, anchoring this weekend edition of the news program. And top stories we are furthering this evening, President Joseph Boakai vows to establish television stations across the 15 counties aimed at bridging the communication gap in the dissemination of information on government's projects. Government of Liberia discloses plan for the arrival of 285 earth-moving equipment for road construction in the country. Elders of the six nominating districts of the borough of Kutam threatened to disrupt the planned inauguration ceremony of Robert Tie as governor of the borough. And away from home, Sudan's Darfur region is facing a growing risk of genocide as the world's attention is focused on conflict in Ukraine and Gaza, that's according to the BBC. Details of these, the news of bulletin, and the actual voices of the news makers are all coming up next. Back. Thanks for joining us. Let's now bring you our first development. President Joseph Boakai has vowed to establish television station across the 15 counties under his administration. According to President Boakai, the move is intended to bridge the communication gap in the dissemination of information on government's project and policy to citizens. President Boakai is at the same time according that assuring citizens that the Liberian people, the state broadcasted will not only be used by government, but will also be opened to the general public. The Liberian leader made the assertion on Friday at the ongoing cabinet retreat at the Ellen Johnson Ministerial Complex in Congo Town. The government of Liberia has disclosed that 285 earth-moving equipment are expected in the country for road construction. According to the Minister of State with our portfolio and head of the President's Delivery Unit, Mamankat Bedete, said the earth-moving equipment will be divided across the 15 counties. Minister Bedete noted that the move by the government is part of its arrest agenda. It will focus on road construction and President Boakai's vision of no car stocking in the mud. Speaking during the presentation, that's her presentation of the day two of the ongoing cabinet retreat, the Minister of State with our portfolio disclosed that part of the initiative, the government with reactivate maintenance zone across the county. The project, she stated, is on President Boakai's project delivery unit, and they will do more in the coming days, weeks, and months. Elders of the six nominating district of the borough of Kutan have threatened to disrupt the planned inauguration ceremony of Robert Tie as governor of the borough, which is scheduled for tomorrow, May 25, at the St. Paul Bridge Town Hall. It can be recalled the former District System Representative Kennedy was nominated recently as governor by President Joseph Boyka to steer the affairs of the borough for the next 6 years. However, there had been a series of controversies regarding the nomination of Robert Tier, a situation which, among other things, the nominating elders of the borough termed as procedural error on the part of President Joseph Boakai. Speaking with the station Friday on the Bourgeois Island, the spokesperson of the sixth nominating district, we are talking about the said TS domination contravened Article 8 of the borough's 1946 Constitution, which states that no governor shall be appointed by a sitting president without the will, knowledge, and consent of the chairman and others of the nominating districts of the borough. He added that such steps were not adhered to in the case of Robert Thier, noting that they wrote the president through the Ministry of Internal Affairs regarding the alleged breach of the borough's constitution, but to no avail. The Elders spokesperson for the accused Unity Party Chairman Luther Tape and Monserrato County District 11 Representative Richard Kuhn for allegedly breaching their constitution for Thier's nomination. He at the same time asserted that any attempt for Thier to be inaugurated, there will be an instability in the borough, adding that their plan is being supported by the Crew communities in West Point, Clareton, and other parts of Monserrato County. For his part, Elo Slenwion Kuhn of the Cloud District dispelled rumors that their action are politically motivated, but noted that it is aimed at protecting the borough's constitution. Family members of a burned police commander who was injured in the Totoka tanker explosion have vowed to protest at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police and the Executive Mansion in Monrovia. It can be recalled in December 2023, a tanker was involved in an accident in Totoka where citizens gathered to take gas from the tanker before its explosion, leaving several persons dead and others badly injured. Commander Mohafid Jabated of the Totoka detachment of the Liberia National Police was a victim of the explosion during his effort to rescue citizens during the explosion, but has since been allegedly abandoned by the government of Liberia. Speaking in an interview with this station, Thursday in Banga Bonk County, Abuyat Mayobat disclosed that the family members of Jabate will organize a massive protest to call government's attention the worsening health condition of Commander Muhafi Jabate. He alleged that since the incident, the government of Liberia has failed to address the commander's health issue despite medical advice to transfer him to India for advanced medical treatment. Reporters covering the Liberian presidency on the caption Executive Mansion Press Corps have decried poor coordination from the Presidential Press Office. According to the reporters, the continuing action of Presidential Press Secretary is creating hitches for the coverage of the presidency. Members of the Executive Mansion Press Corps have recently taken to their social media chat room of the Executive Mansion Press Corps to that express their frustration about the poor condition and coordination by the press office headed by Madam Kulat Fofana. The reporters in Son of the Emergency alleged that the lack of better communication from Madam Kula Fofana has been some of the reasons stopping their function in covering the presidency. Early Thursday, few members of the group posted in the Executive Mansion official WhatsApp and Messenger chat rooms with a recommendation from members of the press club to stay away from covering President Joseph Boakai. Meanwhile, our efforts to speak with Madam Kula Fufanan have not materialized up to press time. The director of for physical audit unit controller at the Ministry of Finance has taken flight to the Supreme Court against his boss, Bill Jones, deputy finance, that Bill Jones, deputy finance minister for administration, for allegedly cutting his salary. Councillor Juvenal Pearson Thursday filed a non-count petition to the justice presiding in Chimod at the Supreme Court to prohibit his boss's action. Councillor Pearson's application to the court, among other things, claims that his boss' decision is illegal, stating that he did not violate any provision of the Code of Conduct warrant the cutting of a monthly income. As a result of Councillor Pearson's request, according to our judiciary correspondent, the justice presided in Chimot has cited both parties for a legal conference scheduled for June 3, 2024, in connection to the matter. The Monrovia City Court is expected to rule in or sexual offense claims against Anthony Mohammed, former commissioner of the Independent National Commission on Human Rights, on Friday at the Temple of Justice. An employee of the institution, Beatrice Wisse, according to our judiciary correspondent, is seeking Commissioner Famulard's prosecution on allegation of sexual harassment. Our judiciary correspondent said Magistrate Bent Backhold's pending decision will determine whether his court will lose jurisdiction over the matter or will be dismissed as provided by law. The INCHR Commissioner's legal team wants the matter dismissed due to procedural error, while prosecuting lawyers are demanding that the matter be transferred to Criminal Court E on grounds that the magistrate court lacks jurisdiction over the matter. Amidst controversies over the price of rice on the Liberian market, a prominent Liberian businessman, Sir Young, has disclosed that over 10,000 metric tons of rice is expected to arrive in the country next month. Speaking to a team of reporters Thursday at his office, he noted that his intention to import rice in the country is aimed at tackling the challenges faced by citizens in purchasing the country's staple food. He expressed his regret over the recent increase in the price of 50 kg bag of rice in the country. Young vowed to sell his 50 kg bag of rice below US $17, adding that it would serve as a significant effort to combat what he described as exploitation by foreign business owners. And now, away from home, Sudan's Darfur region is facing a growing risk of genocide as the world's attention is focused on conflict in Ukraine and Gaza, a UN expert warns. It noted that the circumstances in which a genocide could be occurring or has occurred. More than 700 deaths have been reported in 10 days by a medical charity in the city. Festot is the last major urban center in the Darfur region that remains in the hands of Sudan's army. The military has been fighting the paramilitary rapid support forces for more than a year in the civil war that has killed thousands and forced millions from their homes. That's the bulletin of the Friday edition of the Freedom News Basket. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring you voices of the news makers. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. Let's not take our first development. President Joseph Boakai has vowed to establish television stations across the 15 counties under his administration. According to President Boakai, the move is intended to bridge the communication gap in the dissemination of information on government's project and policy to the citizens.
As we reflect on the responsibility entrusted to us by the Liberian people, let us reaffirm our commitment to serve with diligence, integrity, and unwavering dedication. We come to all share in the informative change Liberians have long yearned for, and we must continue to demonstrate to the average Liberian that session yesterday, I'm sure we all come fresh. I want to say that the session for this day is officially open. And like I told the moderator, maybe one of the things we need to do is to go over what we left yesterday, because the discussions were very good. We need to interact before we go into the next session. Thank you very much. Some of the things that are coming up, we'll document them. Maybe some of the practices that were in place that we could use. So we will document everything, and we will make sure that we look at them and see what entities that need to be reestablished, which entities that we can do away with. Most importantly, in terms of communication, I would like to see that every capital in this country will have a TV station. We have to. So it's not just Monrovia, because sometimes they say somebody there, they must see that the person is not there, they are living. I mean, we are too old at this time not to have communication all over this country. So this is something very serious. And we're not having this workshop just to have it, is to reveal our deficiencies, to see how we can strengthen ourselves. And may I let you know that ELBC is not going to be just for government. We're going to open it up to our people so that all of them can communicate. There are a lot of little things that you don't even think about.
President Joseph Boakai there disclosing plan for the establishment of television stations across the 15 counties under his administration. The government of Liberia has disclosed that 285 earth moving equipment are expected in the country for road construction, according to the Minister of State with a portfolio and head of the President's Delivery Unit, Mankabad Beriti, said the earth moving equipment will be divided across the 15 counties.
An important component of this implementation phase. So I want to thank you, Mr. President. We haven't seen this. I was really young, but to be able to participate in this, I think it's a blessing. And for us to be able to fix our roads ourselves, we're not looking for anybody else. This is the true definition of local. We are stuck in the mud. So this will be a short video of how the virtual handover that we did. We couldn't go to China, but the equipment are ready. They are on the boats. So all the ships will be here soon as they're ready. Can't go put the best weekend down. And then I thank you for the president of the UAE. That's all I want to talk about for 1 month. Okay. Thank you so much. But Minister Giddings, when he comes down, we did this together. We work together. I've been working with Public Works. I've been working with Minister Frisbee. I've been working with the president, because this is all his idea. He sat down and said, but when I was living in Lofa, cars used to come up here and go back to Monrovia. The road was very busy. So the reason why it was like that is because we had our own equipment. The maintenance zones were in place. So we have a lot of work to do In the coming weeks, we're going to be around the 15 counties because every county is going to get 19 pieces of earth moving equipment. So we're going to go from county to county to locate areas to build these maintenance zones. And Public Works is going to work with the military to bring our engineering battalion back to work in these maintenance zones. Minister Giddings, when he does his presentation, he will throw light on the maintenance zone and how it's going to work. Thank you so much. And the people that are taking the PDU job, it's in our PDU team. You're Lima PDU here. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President. Congratulations.
Mamaka Beriti is the Minister of State with our portfolio and head of the President's Delivery Unit there speaking. With more developments, elders of the 6 nominating districts of the borough of Cool Town have threatened to disrupt the planned inauguration ceremony of Robert Tier as governor of the borough, which is scheduled for tomorrow, May 25, at the St. Paul Bridge Town Hall. It can be recalled the former District 16 Representative Kennedy was nominated recently as governor by President Joseph Boakai to stir the affairs of the borough for the next 6 years. Speaking to the station Friday on the Bush Road Island, the spokesperson of the 6 nominating districts, A. Weatoba, said T's nomination contravened Article 8 of the borough's 1946 Constitution.
We are hearing they are preparing tomorrow to conduct Robert here into office. If it's happening, Chancellor who have ATU, SOD, we look at our constitution, he did it to us. Elders, I didn't know. We make peace. Likewise, Johnson Sirleaf, the former president. Even our own son, George Manning Weah, when they get between Alice Weah or Nunes to the president, he picked up somebody on us. He said, "Oh, no matter what happened, but who will give you somebody?" And he apologized to us. But Luto Tape want to overlook with the elders of the borough. Therefore, any eventuality that you will put forth to us, there will be different. Even as we are talking, people in West Point stand by, people in Clanton stand by for this purpose.
The elders spokesperson further accused Unity Party Chairman Luto Tape and Montserrat County District 11 Representative Richard Kuhn for alleged breaching their constitution for T's nomination.
They have not done such the action that they are carrying on for pushing Robert here on us. It never happened. As elders, we can select a governor and send it to the president for appointment. But unfortunately, and within myself, as God above, the president of this republic who know, maybe certain people, and I will call their name, the chairman of UP, Luto Tape, and Rachel Kuhn, they try to unknown to the president to post Robert here on us. Therefore, as elder of this borough, we are appealing to the president quickly whether he is well of the appointment to withdraw that appointment.
For his part, Ella Slewen Kuhn of the Cloud District dispelled rumors that their actions are politically motivated, but noted that it is aimed at protecting the borough's constitution.
Before I say anything, let me answer the question. The question you asked first. Nobody received a dime from the representative, the bank, or the asked because they have to pay the 24 were present at that meeting when we 24 to see to be to do what is right, and we learn from there. But I'm so surprised for the others of the members, like Jinti Tumo, to say that we receive money, but that was saying we need now. But what we can do is that if tomorrow they will bring a to be robbed here, then of course we have no authority to put stop to them and to stop to resist what we will do tomorrow.
Voices of elders of the 6 nominating districts of the borough of Cruton, they're speaking. The Liberia National Police has arrested several members of a protesting group that gathered at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex on Thursday to protest against the increase in the price of rice on the Liberian market. Some Liberians on Thursday gathered at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex to call for the dismissal of Commerce Minister Amin Modai following his disclosure of an increase in the price of rice on the Liberian market. Speaking to reporters before the arrest, the group leader Saros Babbitt noted that the peaceful gathering was intended to call the attention of national and international partners on the increment in the price of rice on the Liberian market.
We are aware with India today under the mandate and the craft of the squadron masters of New York. The rest situation in the country rest is our stable food. It's only more than mad because the stable food is not rest. That is the reason why it's not value the quality and the quantity of the rest situation in this country. Mr. Boycott took a foreigner into this process. He do not understand the process about commerce. Commerce is a place that the Liberian people depend and live on because from there where they take their nutrition from. This Bug administration here, they are very well, they are very
Highlight from a group calling for the dismissal of Commerce Minister Amin Modai. The plenary of the House of Representatives have mandated its Committee on Education to investigate the Ministry of Education for allowing white students, that's for allowing the administering of wires at 7 p.m. in Yapa Town, Riverside County. A plenary reached the decision Thursday, 23 May 2024, during its third-day sitting of the second quarter of the first section of the 55th legislature. Here is Representative Steve Tikwa explaining more to legislative reporters Thursday at the grounds of the Capitol.
Well, it was unprecedented for WAS to have during a night period, 7 p.m. in Yapatan, Rivers County, and it's unacceptable. Our students, they are good students, and to have a test administered at night, it's something that, broke our heart. We need to improve the educational system in our country, and we cannot go that route. The rule from Monrovia to Buchanan is 1 hour and 45-minute drive. The road from Buchanan to Yapatown is 45 minutes drive. How could you do this to the children? Why? And I think the Minister of Education is taking references for granted, because the last time she did a nationwide tour, she only spent less than 30 minutes in Riverside County, in the same Yapatown. And I have even in my possession the payroll for government teachers within my county, and we have lots of people who lost their lives and they are still on the payroll. I don't think it's fair to the county. It's not fair to the educational system of our county, and we want a serious review when it comes to the payroll in Riverside County. And I'm just trying to put everything in one basket. Things have to do with education. So administering the test at night is unacceptable, and we pray that it won't be repeated. And we want the world to know. We want the world to know, because when it comes to the West African examination, every high school want to make a pass. Every county want to make a pass, because when the result comes, everybody want to know which school does. So put it this way, giving the students, the test at night where they already suffer from fatigue, you understand? And their performance, what do you expect good performance? The negative effect when it comes to taking tests, during the night time, it's not good. It's not good. There's no good result you will get. I just pray to God that God himself will work miracle for the children. Because if you tell them to redo the test or once to read, they won't. They will say the children already don't see the test, they not spot the test, they won't want to do it. But what becomes the result? Then we're not asking them to say, okay, consider them because they took the test at night. No, we're not going to do that. But that's why we invite our plenary to make that decision, to invite the minister to come and give reason why.
Riverside County Representative Titi Kwade speaking. The management of the Liberia Petroleum Refinery Company Thursday donated over 500 pieces of funds to the Liberia Refugee Repatriation Resettlement Commission for onward distribution to Liberian refugees from Ghana. Over 700 Liberian refugees are expected to return home from the West African country of Ghana after over 30 years of staying as refugees in that part of Africa. Speaking with reporters on behalf of the managing director of LPRC during the donation ceremony on Thursday, the head of corporate communication department at the Liberia Petroleum Refinery Company, Williams Morris, said the donation of the funds is to allow Liberians who are returning home to get to their family through communication.
The first and foremost, our managing director, Honorable Amos B12, was very magnanimous enough. When he saw this request, he thought that it was expedient for us to do because, as you may be aware, a lot of our brothers and sisters left from here during the war. And we fought several wars here, and they left from here, went back, and went to Ghana, our neighbors in the region, to seek refuge. And upon their return, they sent out a long list of items that they need. So the MD thought that, look, we can do cell phones, because the first thing you want to do is to get in contact with your people, when you get back home. So he thought it wise to donate 500 pieces of mobile phone to the LRRC to be used by those that are returning. So it makes us feel good because our brothers and sisters are coming back home, and all we can do is to welcome them. And one of our way of welcoming them through LPRC is to give them cell phones to call their relatives, call their sisters, their brothers, their aunties and uncles, their mommies and daddies, to say we're back home, we're home, and home for good. LPRC, of course, we have what we call our corporate affairs department, and under that corporate affairs department, we've got what we call corporate social responsibility. Every new institution should do that. We've got what we call the corporate social responsibility, and this is part of our corporate social responsibility. Of course, LPRC is a generating institution, fund generating institution. I mean, you need not to ask us where we got the money from. Of course, we do storage for importers, and then they gave us royalty, and all of that royalty we give back to the society, we give back to the country. So that the means through which we use to get it. The worth of the cell phone is $5,000 United States dollars. Yeah. 500 pieces at the cost of $10 is $5,000. Well, all I can say is to say to our brothers and sisters that are coming back home, we want to say welcome home. There's nowhere like home. We wholeheartedly welcome you. We embrace you. Whatever support you need, we're here. Families take and bend, but you cannot break.
For his part, the Deputy Executive Director for Administration at the Liberia Refugee Repatriation and Resettlement Commission, Aman Kanen, lauded the management of LPRC for the gesture.
This is indeed a great gesture from LPRC, and it is in continuance with their corporate responsibility in line with helping the LPRC to bring our people in safety and dignity, and an opportunity to our people coming to be able to reunite with their families through phone calls. And we believe that it is based on our relationship with LPRC that has manifested into this donation. And so we appreciate it, though we did ask for more of this for what they can afford in line with the social corporate responsibility they were able to improvise to give us this one. And we'd like to say thanks to the management of PRC for this donation. Result is happy. As I speak to you, we have the MTN also that is trying to put some packages together for the LPRC. We did receive some items from the Liberia National Red Cross Society, which are to be taken to the Bong County National Transit Center in Bong County, subsequently from here. Our people are coming in safety and dignity. They are now in the Ivory Coast, proceeding to the borders of Local 2, when we are going to be meeting them tomorrow morning or May afternoon. And so, indeed, the process is ongoing, and they are going to be here in the number of 770. I will be receiving it. I think the phone you see before you is a direct example of what we intend to do, because receiving this phone will give them the opportunity to get reunited with their families. And upon arrival, we have packages that will be subsequently given them in line with all of our stakeholders. We've talked to an international partners that we're working with to ensure that those things can be done to meet them in the appropriate and most protective manner under international law. We do have in our cross-set financial package in terms of getting them the money to have themselves resettled and reintegrated with their family members and be able to live in our communities in safety and dignity.
Aman Kanan there speaking. Earlier, you listened to the voice of Willens Moritz, the head of the corporate communication department at the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company. A group other on their burden, the National Partnership of Liberia, Thursday petitioned the legislature to consider taking deliberate action to improve public safety, including road safety, throughout the country. The group in its petition called on the legislature to ensure the enforcement of laws that will safeguard road users, including pressing charges on reckless perpetrator of road accident with slaughtered and other penalties. Reading the petition, Lucy Balud stressed the need for the government to increase the salaries of police officers.
The National Safety Partnership of Liberia, NASAPA, has joined a worldwide campaign of civil society organizations to advocate for safer motor roads across cities and countries. Whereas the critical exercise Commit to Act has brought the civil society out on the street in the same way across the world to show the realities of people's journeys. Whereas from country to country, volunteers of civil society groups are taking snapshots of the movement of road users, including vehicles and pedestrians, identifying intersections, gathering data, not limited photos, number of pedestrians, 30-kilometer zones, pedestrian facilities, and traffic calming. Whereas the groups will present the data to Global Alliance of NGOs for road safety to be uploaded to its website. Whereas NASAPA, the first Liberian road safety organization to join the Global Alliance of NGOs for road safety, is undertaking strategic activities and collecting data. It will contribute to the Commit to Act campaign. Whereas NASAPA, a non-profit organization registered in October 2013 in Liberia and collaborating with ordinary people and the government to confront challenges of public safety. Whereas from 2007 to 2010, NASAPA's funders conducted a public safety survey with emphasis on road safety in Makibi, Grand Bassa, Sino, Lofa, Nimba, Grand Jide, Bakodu, Bomi, Grand Keman, and Monserrado County. Whereas the survey found out more than 90% of drivers and pedestrians knew little about their responsibility. More than 90% of drivers were aware of Liberia's road policy due to inadequate information. More than 85% of road users knew little about the relevance of vehicles insurance. The government kept improper road accidents and data of vehicles, drivers, school self-design, and disjointed curricula. Many road users disrespect the police because the officers work unprofessionally, and public officials disrespect ordinary people in performing their duty, leading to reactions harmful to public safety. In the view of the above, NASAPA here will petition to the legislature. 1. Calls to ensure enforcement of laws that safeguard road users, including charging reckless perpetrators of road accidents with manslaughter and other tort penalties. 2. Press for development of standard curricula for drivers' education. 3. Increase budgetary allotment for state functionaries in the front line of public safety, including road safety.
Receiving the petition at the grounds of the Capitol, the House Committee chaired on Claims and Petition, Mukhtar Kamara, assured the petitioners that the legislature will look into the petition vote of sentiment.
To the national legislature, we will call the full committee, the committee of 7 persons on claims and petition, and we will have the deliberation on this, and the necessary actions will be taken in the best interest of our country. So let me say thank you for bringing this petition. It will not be as business as usual. We will look into it, and you will hear the necessary result that will come out of this. Thank you very much. God bless us.
Mukhtar Kamara there speaking, and he's taking us home on this weekend edition of the Freedom Evening News Basket. But before we take leave of you, here are top stories. We close the photo this evening. President Joseph Boakai vowed to establish television stations across the 15 counties aimed at bridging the communication gap in the dissemination of information on government's projects. Government of Liberia discloses plans for the arrival of 285 earth-moving equipment for road construction in the country. Elders of the 6 nominating districts of the borough of Cooltown threatened to disrupt the planned inauguration ceremony of Robert Thier as governor of the borough, and away from whom Sudan's default region is facing the growing risks of genocide as the world's attention is focused on conflict in Ukraine and Gaza. That's according to the BBC. On this note, we'd like to say many thanks to our news writers, correspondents, and editors for making this weekend presentation of the news or sources. I'm Stephen Compton. Thanks for listening and watching.